MLB, college. Like I feel
Yeah,
like you
no,
have
I've done.
a lot of podcasts and interviews.
We've done the podcast game didn't really start until after I was out. You know.
Really?
I mean, it wasn't as cool. People didn't have it.
No, but what about like after game interviews and stuff like that?
Oh yeah.
How'd you feel about those?
I remember watching Derek Jeter. Derek Jeter was my guy. He always said the right thing.
Yeah.
So like that's who I learned from of like how to talk and how to answer questions because he always had the right answer.
Yeah.
He was in the big leagues for 20 years, clean cut, never had an issue. And I remember thinking like, I think half the reason why he's in there is because they trust him with the microphone. And a lot of the players after the game, man, they'll say some stuff.
Yeah.
You catch them at the wrong time or, I mean, you got to be accountable. I remember playing with the Brewers and I would see the manager come from the dugout, heartbreaking loss. I remember seeing the manager come from the game and have to go straight to the media and have to answer questions and be like, hey, and they're trying to poke holes in him too. Like, hey, why did you make this decision? Why did you make that decision? And there was an answer for everything.
Yeah.
And I remember when I got into coaching, I'm like, people would always talk about parents are this or parents are that. And I would be like, well, there's an answer for every decision that we make. Like, I'm not afraid of a parent asking me a question because every decision we make, there's a reason behind it, you know? And I remember seeing that at the highest level is they ask them questions. Why'd you put this guy in? Or why'd you take that guy out? Or what's up with this guy?
Yeah.
There's an answer. You know?
Interesting concept on that too. How often do we reflect on is what we're doing their answer?
Well, the hardest thing about what we do, Jay, is the success isn't tangible, right? So you could go out and you're working with an athlete for 3 years and the success is in the 4th and 5th year, you know, is when they get an opportunity. A lot of times we're teaching kids to stay focused when there is no opportunity. Right? And we're preparing and we're training. So people are like, what's the success? And it's like, well, it's in the progress. And if people don't see the progress, whether it be their body or in a sport, a lot of times they give up.
Yeah.
And I think that's where sometimes I get frustrated when I'm coaching the youth baseball. And I don't care about winning the game. I really don't. That's why I'm not a great youth baseball coach, because I don't want to win. I want to win the development of the kid that gets to go play. You know, I want to see a guy go from Watsonville to Southeast Missouri. That's a win. Yeah. So if a guy wins a 12U baseball game, that doesn't necessarily dictate his success down the line. Yeah. You know, so the tangible success in what we do in player and personal development is hard to find. You got to like see it and you got to have conversations and bring it out in people and ask them, you know, how do you feel about you 3 months ago compared to now? What are you looking to be in 3 months? And that's when you get those conversations and you get people, man, I feel so much better. Yeah. I'm walking a little bit taller. Or you see moms or dads is like, hey, this guy's a little different, you know? And there's not a dollar amount that changes. Mm-hmm. It's not like people start paying more money.
Yeah, the mindset switched.
Right. So the success metric is very difficult. And I think that's where I'll get frustrated sometimes of going like, man, am I really doing the right thing here? And there'll be days when I super question it because we don't get the gold star. Like you don't get a victory. Yeah. There's no like Super Bowl win.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
Is that thought process something you've always had since you were young? Or is that something that you've gained that knowledge throughout your time now looking back? That's what you... I think it's always evolution of people. You know, I've always been a lifelong like learner. I haven't like been stuck. I've been super blessed to have great coaches and friends and peers like yourself that we just naturally tap in on life stuff. Like anytime we get like Mo, man, like we don't talk about nothing. We always talk about something, you know? And I think that's where we're a little bit different. You know, I know there's a lot of people that teach sports. There's a lot of people that teach skills and weight training, but I feel like we really tap in on the person, and I love that. That's why I love doing this. Yeah, you know. Facts. Just flew into this conversation right now. I'm with Sean Halton, like MLB coach, father, mentor. Yeah. I have a lot of really great people that I look up to. I listen to a lot of really great speakers. But there's often times where I'm in this clubhouse, and every time I ever hear you speaking in here and I'm in a class, I stop my class to listen.
I appreciate it, Jay.
Whether they understand what's going on or not, I'm soaking game.
Yeah.
And this happens so frequently and so often, and it just happened before we turned the cameras on.
It's classic.
And we talked about how we have so many amazing conversations just daily. And it's like, man, what do we talk about? It's like, man, well, let's just sit down.
Yeah.
Because it's just so inevitable that I love the questions you ask. I love the thought process you speak on. And, you know, I kind of wanted to get into that a little bit is, do you feel that the questions you ask and the mindset is the reason for your success in life? Making it to the MLB or starting your own business?
Man, I always feel like it's a training for something bigger. You know, even when I was playing and moving up the chain and everything, you just know that's not going to last forever. You know, you don't get to play baseball forever. I was lucky enough to play, you know, until I was 30. And the life experience from that propelled me to start my own thing here. And I remember when I got done playing, basically chose to go all in on my family. Right, I had a couple years left. I really did. My last year played. I was super successful. I was healthy. She was MVP.
Yeah.
I wasn't in my prime, but I had some miles left. Right.
This is at the Brewers?
Nah, this was after the Brewers. This was an independent ball. Kind of working my way, trying to get to overseas, trying to get to Korea, Japan. Had already done 7 winter ball tours. Venezuela, Dominican, Mexico, independent ball, every level of the minor leagues, got to play in the big leagues. And, man, my son was asking me where I was going.
Yeah.
You see Ace in here, right? He's like, where are you going? I'm like, man, nowhere. You know, it's time to go be a dad, you know. I had, my dad was a G.
Yeah.
My dad was a G. He was an actor. He was a journeyman actor. He got into movies. He's got commercials, like hustler. You know, he ran into some things later in his life, but man, he had to go. He had to go. I remember going with him to San Francisco for auditions, and he's reading the lines, and man, that's elite.
Yeah.
You know, so I learned that from him, and when I got done, I remember thinking like, man, I need to teach my kids this go. And it started getting dark. I would come back in the off season, I would do lessons, and it started to get dark and cold, and I was like, man, I need to find a spot. And there's a group in this area called the Bombers, Central Coast Bombers, and I would go work with them in the off season. Yeah. And man, I loved it. Yeah. We're out at Catino Park before they turfed it. Like, it was ugly out there. Yeah, Rich Miramontes and the whole thing, bro. They had me out there, no money. It was serving me. It was serving me. It was serving them. It was a mutual thing. And then it started getting dark and cold. I said, I need to get a roof, right? And a good buddy, a family friend of mine, James Velarde, put me on. He said, hey, there's a little spot to rent here for a couple $1,000 a month. And I just took the leap. And I look back at that, I'm like, wow, that was a leap. That was a flat out jump off the ledge type leap from professional baseball to starting your own business. And I had a couple pivotal people believe in me and my family and tap in and help me paint the walls and get the turf and like do it. It was crazy. Like, we look back on the videos, we'll probably roll it with the video.
For sure.
on how it used to look.
Yeah.
And man, it was crazy. Those days were awesome. I remember Ace just crawling around in there. And Sean Jr. was probably 7 or 8. Now, he was clicking probably 10, but Ace was in the room. Yeah. You know, and he's learning how to hit. Now I see him now, and I'm like, yeah, you were doing that when you were young. You could tell.
For sure.
He's got a different, like, mentality. And it propelled me to get inside and start it. And not too long after that, I hit up Mo. It was like, hey, I got the spot. Come tap in. And from working with him, I got to understand a whole different side of training with football. Because you guys go at it way different. You know, we're pretty safe baseball-wise, throw conscious. But we had a great relationship as, like, training partners. You know, I'd be meeting them at the gym 5 a.m. Couldn't wait.
Yeah.
Couldn't wait.
That grind's different.
Couldn't wait.
Wish those cameras were on.
Man, but they're here, you know, and we'll have a time with him and we'll tap in on it. And it was a special time. But it was elite.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people, that jump that you had to take, for a lot of people that want to start something, that want to become business owners, that want to take a risk and invest, there's a lot of hurdles that you got to overcome.
I think it starts with passion. I mean, it's got to be something you care about. Like the why. Like why? You know? Well, why did I take that spot? Because I needed it to teach the game I love, to make money, but also I wanted to raise my kids in the game.
Yeah.
You know, I want the kids around. If I'm teaching somebody, I would love for my kids to be right next to it so they could hear those conversations too. Yeah. That's a double dose, you know, and that's something that a lot of sports kids don't get. Yeah. You know, either live in their parents' life on the road or they're with mom. And dad's coming back in a couple months. And to me, that was just unacceptable to do with my son. We
work with a lot of kids. What is one of the hardest challenges we have to overcome with working with kids, or just this whole mindset of kids are soft these days?
So when I first started, everybody was talking to me about, like, you know, business model, you got to follow your pillars and all this like business stuff. And I'm like, man, I'm a sports guy. I don't really know what you're talking about. But they're like, you need to have something like the Clubhouse, what's under it, you know, like Nike, just do it. Yeah. And so my thing after like working with kids and coming back was eliminate the doubt. And it's still on the old school thing right there. Because that was the biggest hurdle, is that people just don't believe in themselves.
How do we overcome that?
We got to instill belief in them and build them up through it, through the work, through the conversations. And next thing you know, they're standing tall and they believe in themselves and they're empowered. Right, so we got to empower them to believe in themselves, you know. And you look back at your run. How many people believed in you more than you believed in you? Yeah. And you're like, wow, if I didn't have that person to nudge me along, I would have sat down. And I love being that person. I love being the person that believes in kids more than they believe in themselves. And from being a senior sign, no athletic parents. Like, mom, you can't catch, you know what time it is.
Yeah, facts, not real.
I remember I was playing in New York, last game of the season. We're in New York, right? And taking batting practice, and I threw a ball up to my mom in the stands. And she caught it, and I swear it was the first time she caught anything in her whole entire life.
I ain't dropping this one.
So coming from parents that didn't have this, you know, coming from senior sign, sign as a senior, not as a junior, not out of high school. I took the long road. Junior college, NAIA, senior sign, hit my way to the big leagues. Bro, I believe that people can do anything. Unsurmountable things. Yeah, they could climb the mountain, man, because I did it.
Yeah. College athlete about to go into their first practice after summer camp, and you were talking about, man, all the work you done put in, man, trust it. You're going to go there and you're going to feel like maybe you didn't put in enough work. What were those times where you went to those summer balls or those spring balls or those MLB balls?
It's the same chili, man. It's the same chili. Eliminate the doubt. You got to eliminate the doubt. Go back to the work that you put in and the belief and the why and the whole thing. I think it's so easy to get overwhelmed by what everyone else is doing. And those day ones are difficult. Because you start seeing other people doing other things and they're having success, and you start doubting what you're doing and your whole process. And next thing you know, you're trying to do what they're doing. And you just dedicated months to yourself. Yeah. And all of a sudden you get there and you lost all your own belief. Yeah. And I know that feeling all too well.
Me too.
Right? And so that's it. So we're talking to somebody about their day one about to come up, like, hey, I know you're going to doubt yourself. For sure. But understand that that's natural. Yep. And spit it out and keep rocking. You know?
That's the real one, is like, what's going to make you want to come back the next day? After getting that discouragement, what makes you come back the next day? And it's the fact that there's a next day. There's the fact that you get another day.
Yeah, it's not final. It's not final. Yeah.
That's just where you're at right now. So do the things to get better again. Now that you put in your work, trust it. And now that you see somebody else been working, trust that you got to work harder again.
Right.
So stay motivated. Very first day, like, I kind of encountered watching you work. You talked about thinkers versus movers. Can you speak on thinkers versus movers and what that means to you, just for athletes? Or
I mean, it's kind of a loaded bag, right? But I think a lot of people come up with great ideas and then they don't act on it, you know? And there's a lot of people that are moving, but they're not achieving. So, like, mistaking movement for achievement is a thing too. You know, like, hey, I'm putting in 12 hours a day, but what are you really doing?
Facts.
And how much progress are you making, or are you just spinning your wheels? And then there's so much times where you can get caught in contemplation and you're just sitting there thinking yourself into a circle. I think there's a balance of both. Yeah. You got to think your way through stuff. You got to be strategic, but then there's time to get after it. You know, there's time to like do stuff, you know? And in the business world, for me, I feel like action trumps more than anything because you can learn from your failure. Yeah. It's hard to fail in thought because you don't know if it works.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you got to.
Sometimes you got so many answers. It's like, which one do I choose?
Yeah.
It's like I've been thinking for so long, and it's that like paralysis by analysis.
Dude, I heard this thing the other day. It was dope. It was this guy was walking up to the top of a mountain, and I could be butchering this, but you know, you'll get the concept. Mm-hmm. And he stops along the way. People are coming down. Hey, how is it up there? Right? Then they start telling him, hey, it's not even worth the climb. He starts walking a little slower. Keeps going up the mountain, right? There's a little spot to eat. I'm gonna rest a little bit. More people coming down. It's too hot up there. You know, next thing you know, guys just come on back down the trail. You know, instead of just moving. Yeah. You know, you're letting people influence your thoughts so much that you forgot why you even were climbing up the mountain.
Thanks.
You know? And then by the time you actually get up there, you realize that all those opinions and everything didn't even matter because that's their own perception, that's their own lenses, that's their own view of the world and the mountain and the temperature and their, you know what I'm saying? It's like, that's you. So it's like the more people talk about their dreams sometimes, you're letting other people squash them. You're letting other people devalue them. And then you're also kind of getting self-progress. Because if you're like, hey, I'm about to buy a car. Yeah. I'm like, dope, Jay, that's sick. Okay. You're getting the feeling of you already buying the car. Yeah. So now are you going to work as much to do that when you already are getting the love for buying the car without the car? Okay. So I think there's something to be said about thinking and then moving. Yeah. You know what I mean?
There's that. That's why we got to be careful who we tell our dreams to. And then the other thing is, I feel like a lot of times in our lives as humans, we all seek validation. Is the thing that I'm doing right? Yeah. And I need validation for somebody to let me know that, yeah, that's right. But God didn't really give you that. God didn't give them that vision. God didn't give them that message. So
I agree.
Like to seek validation from somebody else instead of just doing it is a tough.
I think that's kind of a place of weakness in a way, you know?
Insecurity.
Yeah, it's like I don't really believe in myself. I'm trying to catch a little on the way, you know? That being said, support's a thing. Yeah, it is. You know? Hey, that's a dope car, Jay. You should get it. Mm-hmm. You know, that's different than like, hey, you made it. Dope, sick. Pick me up. Show me the pic, you know? Yeah. I think, like you said, it's important to surround yourself with people that got that right kind of language and know how to keep you honest. You know how to keep you honest. Like, you got the car yet?
Yeah, accountability.
Yeah, like, well, you ain't got it yet. You know, you're over here talking about it. Yeah. You know, pull up. Yeah, that's
We've been
different.
Talking about this podcast for a while.
Yeah, right.
We've been talking about sitting down and just talking and turning the camera on for a while.
Yeah, it's good to do it though. It really is.
And then once you do it, it's like, I feel like where the heaviness weighs on me a lot of times is I say so many things I'm gonna do because I have so many dreams and so many goals and so many ideas that I know in the back of my mind that I said it. And the longer I wait on it and I don't pull the trigger and I don't take action, the heavier it gets. Mm-hmm. And then I do another one. And then it's like, damn, now I got 20 things. It's like,
I old school Jim Rohn, right? Yeah. Jim Rohn's my dude. He's a personal development. I love his language. There's some stuff that he says that I will literally use for the rest of my life, right? Mm-hmm. And if you don't act, that emotion runs out. And the emotion behind your thoughts creates the action. Yeah. So if you don't act on those thoughts, that emotion runs out and you're gonna put it into something else. And that's where I'm like, I gotta be careful. When I come up with something or I have an idea, I gotta put it into play. Yeah. Because there's a reason why I thought of it. Yeah. There's a reason why I believe in it. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden I don't put it into action. I'm actually putting something else into action and that whole thing, and that actually eats away at your self-confidence, you know, when you don't act on stuff like that.
I feel like that is a lot with routine. And I feel like baseball is a big routine game.
Insane.
you asked this group of 20 kids, what you was like, what
Talking
is,
to camp?
Yeah, at a camp. And you said, what is a corny line or something that you say that you think of in between pitches or up to a pit or up to going up to bat that keeps you calm?
Yeah, like a mantra.
Yeah.
I'll go back to
Did
my
you have
grandma.
yours?
I'll go back to my grandma, right? She would watch every game. She was awesome. And she would clown me sometimes, right? She like in a parental, like nice, but like, hey, kind of way.
Yeah.
And she told me one time, like, hey, you need to have a mantra that says, I am a power hitter. I am a power hitter. And I'm over here hitting singles and dumping stuff in. And she's like, come on, big guy. You need to go up there and try and blast something. Fire. But I took it like, dang, I'm not even taking a hack.
Yeah.
I look like I'm not taking a hack.
Yeah.
And she could tell it, you know, so.
Because she watched you grow up a lot through it?
She just watched me do it. She just watched me grow up. She watched all the games.
Yeah.
She would tap it. She would watch every game, dude. And she would give me a little 1-2 after the game.
Yeah.
She'd be like, is that beef jerky in your mouth?
That's,
You know?
locked in over there?
And as I got older, it would stay middle. I mean, it would change, like different little things that create some heat. You know, I'd have some success and then it would die out.
Yeah.
Stay middle was huge for me because it was not only stay middle to the middle of the field, it was stay middle in just like the emotions of the game and then emotions of the career. Like, you just got to stay middle, man.
Never too high, never too low.
Baseball, you can't do it.
Yeah.
So I go back to Jeter, and I remember thinking, like, damn, this dude don't even sweat.
Yeah.
Yankee Stadium, 40,000 every night. My man's just playing like wiffle ball. And then you talk to him after the game, not me personally, but the media, and he was
cool.
4 for 4, 0 for 4. He just was that dude. And I remember thinking, like, there's something to that. And not only in baseball, but in life, man.
Yeah.
You know, so many times throughout my day, I'm like, I got to chill out here.
Yeah.
I mean, I got a 6-year-old, a 10-year-old, 17.
What's the biggest thing you learned from parenting?
Man, there's so many. I think I learn something every day.
Yeah.
I really do. I think that's one of the hardest, most thankful things that you could do on earth. And we kind of do that in a way with our students.
Yeah.
You know, we treat them like our own family.
Yeah.
We have conversations with them, you know, like they're our loved ones. So I think the unconditional love part of it is really wild because they'll do something that you're like, I don't like you right now.
Yeah.
I love you,
Yeah.
but I'm hot.
That's out.
Right? And so, like, if that happens out there, you cut them off. I'm out.
Yeah.
Or there's something. You know, there's some pushback.
Yeah.
But with your kids, it's a finesse game, man.
Yeah.
Like, you know, sometimes it's tough love. Sometimes it's hard love that hurts. Sometimes it's conversations that nobody wants to have. You know, shoot, teenage boy.
Yeah. Going through all type of different things and thoughts.
Right? And then you got little guys becoming young men in 2025. Social media, just like, ooh.
Yeah. What
It's
advice
wild.
would you give yourself if you were able to tell your going back 20 years?
Man, I think it would be to surround yourself with the best people and people that are going to pull you forward. I think sometimes I wanted to take people with me, right? And I wasn't around people that pulled me up until I was blessed with it. You know, I was blessed. Fresno City, there was some older heads that were around. Dayton Buller, one of my brothers, that pulled me up.
Yeah.
You know, but like throughout high school and like growing up, man, I'm like trying to get through the weeds.
For sure.
You know, so I would tell myself to surround yourself with people that are going to pull you forward instead of trying to take the village with you. You know, you got to be a leader for sure, but you also got to be the dumbest dude in the room. You got to surround yourself with some people that know what is going on.
Yeah.
You know,
I don't think people
cheat
understand
code.
that concept.
Brothers, people. All right, so the other day there was a bike out here,
Yeah.
the e-bike. I see the dude get off the e-bike with his kid and gets right in the car. They leave the bike right there in the lot, right? And me and Ace are sitting right there. And I'm like, dang. I told him, I said, hey, Ace, 15 years ago, I would have taken that bike. I would have. It's a $1,500 bike. It's a dope bike. It's got the seat on the back. Man, I can see myself now, right? But I said, hey, I learned. I learned that that's not the right thing to do. And I said, and there were some other kids around, I said, that's why you talk to your grandparents. Because they see things like years ahead. Like, I got 15 years, bro. Imagine 40?
Yeah, experience.
Bro, I'm walking the bike back. Hey, you guys left the bike in the thing. Dude, what are you doing?
Yeah. What was the intention? How did you come up with Clubhouse, and what were you ultimately hoping when you first started it?
Oh, man. When I got done playing, there was a huge void in my life. Mm-hmm. You know, you're around 25 like personalities, like languages, not like backgrounds. You're playing with guys from all around the world, all around the country, but they share the same clubhouse, right? After the game, everybody's back down. I'm sitting next to a dude from Venezuela, sitting next to a dude from Georgia, right? And everybody's sitting here and we're even. And I felt like that place was so unique that once I got outside of the game, it was so hard to find a place like that. So I'm like, man, I need to create one. I need to create a place that has that culture, that brings people like you in, you know, brings people like Mo in, that they feel that too, that they're like, finally, I'm around people like me. You know, and that's why I'm always trying to find great coaches and people to be a part of our program, like Kramer and Dahl and Eric and Rob. Yeah. Like, Rob just got done being a beast, right? And now he's got to come back into normal civilian land with people that don't speak that language. They haven't been through the road, right? They haven't done the 5 a.m.s. They don't know that life. And so part of it was just to create a place for the culture to incubate, right? For a place where that culture could just grow, and then people would come.
What are you looking to do next?
Man, I want to coach at a high level. I want to take a team to a place that they've never been. In terms of this and the clubhouse, I want to create another one that's bigger and better. But honestly, I don't really know what that next move looks like. I really don't. I think this is so unique and so special that I just know that it'll never be replicated. I mean, that's John Hopkins right there. You got the aquarium right here. Like, we're so blessed, Jay. Like, every time I come in here, especially lately because I know we're not going to be here forever, I look at it and I'm like, wow, this is something special, you know? And I don't know what that next move is going to be. I think we're going to need the right people involved, you know? I don't know, man. I know the community needs it. I know the community needs a place where local athletes can come learn from collegiate and ex-professional players. I mean, what a great thing. You know, what a great thing. I've seen my kids just benefit so much just from like the drip of it, just from like being around it. So I know there's a need for it. And I think life's mission is going from where you're at to where you want to be. I ain't figured out yet.
What makes you most happy right now in life?
I think seeing my kids and my family's progress in life, you know. Man, I'm super blessed to have a wife of 12 years that's seen me through the mud, you know, seen me from the big leagues to small business owner. It's a very not glamorous life, you know, from a pretty glamorous thing. And I think spending time with them and also spending time with friends and get to being like a person. A lot of times I'm a coach and I speak that coach language and personal development and self-development and being able to unplug and just sit by the fire and hang out and have these conversations with people. And not, you know, I think that gives me a lot of joy. But to keep it 100 with you, Jay, I think progress keeps me happy. And progress is the main thing. Like, if I don't see progress, I get frustrated. And that's in my own body, that's in my business, that's with my education. Like, you know, I'm still in school, trying to get that master's, and I need to keep it moving, you know? And some of that is that thinking versus moving, because I'm like, I gotta keep going, you know?
A lot of parents and a lot of athletes are going one sport all the way through. Is that the best route? Does it matter?
It's interesting because it's competitive.
Yeah.
And college, I'm looking at, I got a 17-year-old in my house, and he's looking at playing at the next level with the portal and NIL, and it's competitive, man.
Yeah.
It's hard for a high school guy to cross the cornfield and go play college sports. It just is. And that being said, you got to be good.
Yeah.
And the only way to be good is by working at it.
Yeah.
So then you go in the conversation of training versus playing, and how much of each do you need to do? Yeah. And I would love to give a simple answer, but it's very individualized to one kid's skill set and their environment. You can play all sports all year round now. That did not exist when I was a kid. I went from wanting to be Chris Mullin to Barry Bonds to Steve Young, Jerry Rice. Like, I was a Bay Area sports fan seasonally.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be Tim Hardaway.
Yeah.
Season's over, time to be, different. So I played them all until I got to high school, halfway through, and then I said, hey, baseball. And I'm glad I did, because it had me ready for a season. My junior year, I had a monster junior year in high school, and it was because I dedicated a lot of time into it, I just got done telling a 10-year-old, please play every sport. Please play every position. Don't let somebody tell you that you are a second baseman, because you're not. You're an athlete, and you can learn how to play the other positions at 10. So I think 16, 15, depending on where you're at, you might have to specialize if you really want to survive. In our area, we see a lot of good three-sport athletes, but not a lot of great one-sporters. And in honesty, you want to play at Cal, you want to play, like, if you want to be a three-sporter, you better be a dog, and you better be physically, collegiately ready.
Yeah.
Like, you got to have a college body, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's individualized, but I think you do everything you possibly can until you get about high school or midway through high school, and then you got to say, hey, what is the universe telling me? What is God telling me? What is the game telling me? What do I got to really lock in with here if I want to survive and keep these cleats on?
That makes me look back at my career differently, too. I didn't make my decision until the first day of college.
Insane.
I was like, I don't know if I'm going football, basketball, baseball right now.
Insane.
Right when I got to NPC, that first semester, I'm going to play football. Just off of height advantage. Just off of, like, I feel like I'm not tall enough for the basketball court, but I'm good enough. And then football, my height don't really crazy matter at slot, and I'm good enough. So
right.
I just take that. But
yeah.
I wonder if I went all in on one, or that would be an interesting concept.
And it's individualized. Some people can ride out all three, and then they can go play one, Yeah. I see a lot of guys that carry the football and they play the hoop, and then they go play baseball, and they're kind of limping to every season because there's that overlap. So no one really gets to be really good. They're just kind of like, jack of all trades but master of none.
Yeah,
that's a lot around here. But also 800 kids at the school, 600 kids at the school. You go to a 4,000 kid school,
you're gonna have a big.
They're playing one sport.
For sure.
There's only a handful of people that are playing three sports at a big time high school.
Yeah.
So I think it's very situational, and you got to do your math. You got to sit here and be strategic with your time of where you want to go. So
definitely. Last question: what's your message to the youth? If you could give your best advice to the youth, what would you give them?
Stay focused, man. It's so easy to get distracted in today's time, and I always say, comparison. Like, social media is crazy. It really is. Honestly, I don't rock with it. Because I just get distracted. Yeah. Next thing I know, I'm looking at this and I'm looking at that, and I'm like, this has nothing to do with my business, my family, my career, my faith. It has nothing to do with anything. Yeah. Yet I'm entertained. So don't be so quick to be entertained rather than be strategic with your time. For sure. And I think a lot of youth people, man, they just want to be entertained rather than get to work. And even at 15, 16, that's go time. That's go time. There's multimillionaires now starting businesses at young.
15.
Young. So it's like if you're constantly being entertained rather than like working and like strategically moving with your time, you're gonna be working for somebody else.
Yeah.
You know, you're gonna be chasing someone else's dream
Yeah.
if you're constantly being entertained rather than you working on your own dream.
Yeah, you're gonna be
You know,
somebody else's.
today, 2025, bro, you can chase your dreams, man. Dreams come true in 2025.
They do. Anything is possible right now.
Right?
And I think even the line with that is don't compare, compete. I feel like when you see a 15-year-old millionaire, you see a 16, 17-year-old millionaire, and then you're at 30 and not a millionaire, that thought process is same concept.
Yeah.
But don't compare, compete.
Yeah.
Perspective is big.
The comparison part is crazy. Man,
you're with me every day. You talk to me every day. Just life.
No, man, I think your energy is crazy, Jay. I see you working in here, and I know that this isn't the end game. Mm-hmm. You know, I think knowing where you want to be in 5 years, knowing where you want to be in 10 years, you know, it's a hard conversation with yourself.
Yeah.
Of like, what do I really want to do with my life, right? Legacy is important. Same cool college coach, we had to write a paper on legacy. And that one hit home to me because my dad's dad died when he was young. And my old man had a heart attack when he was in his 40s. He lasted, you know, he didn't die then, but it hit me. You ain't gonna be here forever. And you might mess around and leave early. All right? They might come get you, bro. So what is it, so who are you when you're gone? You know what I mean? What are they gonna say about you? What are you leaving behind other than some coins and some whatever? And so legacy is important. I think you just look back, look forward to looking back and saying, what do I want to leave behind in 10, 15? What do I want to be? Where do I want to live? What do I want to be doing? You know, that kind of stuff is gold, you know? But I think your energy and your perspective is refreshing and unique. And I think you're on the right track because you're authentic. You don't try to be somebody else. You try to be you. And in this world, that is very rare because like we're talking about comparison and everything, people are just trying to blend in a way instead of just doing what they like to do, doing what serves people and what they're passionate about.
Appreciate that.
For sure.
Thank you. And this isn't our last time sitting and shooting content. We got a lot more content to shoot.
For sure.
But we had to knock one out because we've been talking about it. So thank y'all for joining the How You Really Doing podcast. J2, Coach Sean.
Yes, sir.
See you in a bit. Stay blessed, huh?